Okay, so I think we were discussing about this the problem or the protection of equipment. Equipment protection from traveling waves. Okay. First of all, what are the problems you will face because of this traveling waves that we will see now? So the main problem you will face is that the flashover. So flashover will occur in the equipments. Okay. So for example, you take the transformer. Then what do you find out is that the insulation, the insulation, the insulation of the transformer will get damaged due to this flashover. Okay, so the insulation will get damaged, and okay, so flashover may occur between winding and insulation. So it means between insulation winding also there is a possibility of the flashover. So that will cause the connection between windings and insulation, or it may cause flashover between windings between the windings, or it may cause flashover between the turns of the same winding. So because of this traveling wave, so on whole you can say the insulation of the system will get damaged. The insulation of the system will totally get damaged. For example, you take the case of the transformer, then the insulation may damage the flashover, or the traveling waves may damage the insulation of the transformer. I hope you know where is the insulation in the transformer. Okay, different parts of there you have the insulation, and also between winding and core there is insulation is there, so that insulation also may get damaged. Okay, because of this flashover, or sometimes between the in the transformer you have primary winding, something like LV winding, HV winding, both will be together. Okay, some part of LV winding, some part of HV winding will be together. So there should be insulation between LV and HV winding, so this insulation may get damaged because of this traveling waves. And also sometimes even in the same winding, that is you take either LV winding or HV winding, in the same winding also between two turns there is always insulation, that also might get damaged. Okay, so all these things are there, so that you need to protect the equipment from the traveling waves. Okay, so now there are some methods are there, or some equipments are there which we will use to protect from the traveling waves. Okay, so those things we will list out one by one. First one is rod gap. Okay, first one is rod gap. So this is you know the simplest and cheapest. The advantage of this is that it is a simplest and cheapest protection. It is the simplest and cheapest protection. Okay, especially for the line insulators. It means what will happen is that already there are insulators are there. Now using this rod gap, you can protect the insulators, because you see here, of course, that there are insulation everywhere. There are insulation. You take the case of the transformer. There are insulation in every part of the transformer, internal parts and external parts, every part. Now, because of this traveling waves, any one of the insulation which is present inside the transformer or outside of the transformer, so we don't know where exactly the damage happened. Okay, so then in that case, what we have to do, once the damage has happened, then we have to go through where exactly has we have to search. So rather than doing all this process, if you have this if you have this outside means we will have the rod gap. Example, rod gap is there. So if you have this rod gap, okay, then what is the advantage is that we will connect the rod gap outside the transformer, okay, there outside the transformer. So instead of damage to the insulation inside the transformer, the rod gap will get damaged. So the remaining transformer, the entire transformer will get protected. Okay. So this is the this is the nature of your rod gap. Okay. So I will draw the circuit here. Then I will just draw this picture of this rod gap. Okay. So otherwise I can show. It's better I will show you in the net so that you can. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now you see here. Yeah. This picture is there. I will take this picture. Yeah, it's better I will copy this image and I will just show you here. See this now. Yeah, this is the rod gap. Now you see here, what exactly you will find out here. See this now. See, this is the transformer tank. Yes, see this is the picture of the rod gap now. Now, where is the rod gap here? This blue color line. Blue color is there. This part and this part. These are the two rods. You will find out two rods like this. Okay, so these are transformer bushing. This yellow color, these are transformer bushing. Now, at the starting of the bushing, at the end of the bushing, you have rod. Two rods will be there. One is, okay, first one, where do you connect the first one? You see, this is the first one. This is the second one. So two rods are there. So you connected the first one near the line. Near line. The other one you connected to earth. You see this one. This is connected to the earth. So this is connected to the line. So in between this, you have this transformer bushing is there. Okay. This rod gap, let me take this as some L. Let me take this rod gap as L. And now distance from this rod gap is P. Okay. Let it be like this. Now you see the rods, there is a gap is there, L gap is there. So there is a rod. So how it protects is that, see, whenever any traveling wave, then the traveling wave, how it will travel is that rather than it is traveling through the bushing. So in one way you can say that using the rod gap, you are protecting the bushings. The bushings are protected. The bushing are protected. Otherwise, if you don't have the rod gap, then what do you expect now? What do you find out is that the traveling waves will hit this lines and it will enter into the bushing. Okay, so the bushing will get damaged. So of course, this is the transformer tank. Now, you see here, instead of traveling through this, if you have the rod gap like this, then what do you find out is that the traveling waves will travel like this through the gap. Okay, and it will travel through the earth. So this is how it works. Okay, now here what you need to understand here is that what is the relationship between this P and L is that your P should be greater than L by 3. This is the condition to be satisfied. Okay, so P should be greater than L by 3. P is the distance between the rod and the bushing, whereas L is the rod gap. It is the rod gap. Okay, so here you are protecting the bushings here with the help of the rod gap. Okay, and remember it is the simplest and cheapest one compared with other things. Okay, but what is the disadvantage of this? There is one disadvantage is that the disadvantage is that every time this rod gap operates, okay, there is LG fault is there. Every time this rod gap operates, there is LG fault and the circuit breaker will operate. Okay, your circuit breaker will operate in the sense the circuit breaker will come into picture here now. So it will open. Once again, you have to close that. Okay, so this is one of the problem you will face. So whenever this rod gap works or whenever this rod gap functions, then it creates a LG fault, and that will be cleared by once again. So because of that, circuit breaker will operate and the fault will be cleared. Okay, so this is, so one way you are just protecting this transformer bushing. Okay, with the help of this rod gap. So we can say like this, that the insulation level of the bushing will be more than the insulation level of the rod gap, then only the current will take the low resistance part. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, and then we'll have another type. What is that type is arcing horn. Arcing horn, I will just show you the picture of that. It's always better. Yeah, so some way, yeah, just see this picture now. Yeah, this one. Yeah, we'll take this picture better. So you see, where did you find out this one? So you find out that yeah, you may find out several pictures. Okay. Yeah, it's well explained in case of the transmission towers. So it is mainly used in. I'll show you the picture here. Yeah, we better we'll take this picture itself. And now you see here now. Yeah. So I'm sure that you might have seen this Arsing Han somewhere. Okay. So this is the transformer tank, whereas this is the line. Okay. And now what do you find out here? Copper round bar, 10 millimeter. Okay, so these two are copper bars. These red colors are there. So these two are copper bars, whereas this one is independent earth strap. So what is the purpose of this strap? Is that, see, for example, this operate. If this Arsinghan operate, then you will find out it will go like this through this air gap. Spark will come here. Then after that, you will enter. Then it will go and through the earthing. Okay, this is how it works. So here also same thing that you must the insulation of the arching horn definitely the insulation of the arching horn definitely less than the insulation of the transformer. Okay, so then only it will take. Okay, it will take this. So what is the difference between this arching horn and the previous rod gap is that it is mainly used in hilly areas, especially in the transmission towers. I will show you that picture also. Yeah, you see now. And that's the main purpose of this one. Okay. Now you see here very well. So I hope you can see, means if you observe there, if you observe any transmission tower nearby, you'll find out this thing. Okay. So So rod gap you generally use at the substations, many a cases. Whereas this arcing horn you generally use in hilly areas such as this transmission towers. Okay. Okay. So this is briefly about the same procedure, how it works in the sense the same thing that whenever this uh, flashover occur, then it will take the path through this. It will take the path through this. It will take this path. So somewhere you find out the earth resistor. So earthing path is there. So through the through earthing path, it will just travel and it will go into the earth. So this part will be protected. This part will be protected.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
are they not guard rings, sir?
Are they not?
Guard rings to equalize capacitance effect, capacitance grading some sort.
Oh, you are saying like that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can consider like that. But one thing I will tell you that, yeah. So, okay, of course, you can consider this as a capacitor. Okay. The insulator which is present here is a dielectric. Is it like that?
సార్ మా అది ఇన్సులేటెడ్ డిస్క్స్లో అన్ఈక్వల్ వోల్టేజ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ ఉంటే సమ్ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇది వాడతాం కదా సార్ గార్డ్ రింగ్స్ అని ఈక్వల్ వోల్టేజ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్కి.
Yeah, yeah. So now let me I understood what you are saying, but we are not discussing right now with this part. See what exactly we are with this. Of course, whatever you said, it is correct. That for the equal voltage distribution, you will follow that procedure. But here, what is the purpose of doing this? Just it's a basic thing that why you are doing this here is that, for example, if you don't have this arcing horn, what will happen if you don't have this arcing horn? Definitely, it will enter through this one. Yes or no?
ఎస్ సార్.
So if it enters through this, then this will get damaged. Okay. So rather than getting these damages, you will have another extra protection in the form of the arcing horn, that is in this path. So if you have this path, then the advantage is that rather than going in this direction, the flashover will occur in this way. The flashover will occur in this way, so that this part will not have any effect or it will not get damaged. Okay. Now you are saying that you will for the equal voltage distribution of that you will use the guard ring. That's what you are saying. Is it correct?
ఎస్ సార్. ఈస్ దిస్ సెటప్ ఈస్ సేమ్ యాజ్ గార్డ్ రింగ్స్? ఆర్కింగ్ హార్న్స్ అండ్ గార్డ్ రింగ్స్ బోత్ ఆర్ సేమ్ ఆర్ ద డిఫరెన్స్?
Yeah, they are little bit different is there. There is a little difference is there. So there you take the precaution, especially your focus is that to maintain the equal voltage distribution. But here in this case you are diverting that totally. Okay.
ఎస్ సార్. ఓకే సార్.
Okay. So yeah, this is about this. And then yeah, then we have some surge arresters are there, lightning arresters are there. Okay, so I would like to tell that in the next class because it's a another new topic. Okay, so means surge arresters also the same purpose. Okay, but as per the syllabus, whichever is there, I will tell that. But right now I will tell another topic here. So it's a small topic, and with the time available, we can just go through the topic. Then the remaining things we can start afresh tomorrow. So what is the topic? Is insulation coordination. Yeah, what is this insulation coordination? Is that I will simple answer that. Okay, it's nothing but it's a you are relating. I hope you know the meaning of coordination. You are relating the insulation, of equipment, relating the insulation of the equipment with the protective device. Okay, that process you call it as insulation coordination. So for example, you take the transformer. So transformer has certain insulation. Okay, then what is insulation coordination is that, so which device has relationship or which device is more suitable for the protection of the insulation of this transformer. Okay, so that process you can call it as insulation coordination. So something like you are matching the insulation of the protective device with the insulation of the equipment. So equipment has certain insulation already while designing that equipment, for example transformer or induction motor or any machine or any equipment. When you are designing, definitely you will provide some insulation based upon the operating voltage and also based upon the some other surge voltage and so on. So now that's the only the okay constructional wise. For example, transformer is there. You will only worry about how much operating voltage is there. HV side how much voltage is there, LV side how much voltage is there. So based upon this voltage only, you provide the insulation. Okay, you provide the insulation. Now the equipment. Now the thing is that now anyhow you will use the protective device also for this transformer. So now which devices you will take? Which device you will take? Okay, so which device you will take and how it is suitable to this equipment, so it depends. So that entire procedure you call it as insulation coordination. Okay, any device, any equipment you take, definitely you have to select like that. Okay, so this can be generally related with a curve called old time curve. Old time curve. So we will draw the old time curve for both but for both protective device and also the equipment. For both these things, we will draw the graph. We'll draw the graph. So this is one graph. Okay, I will draw another graph. You see here the insulation of this, one. Okay, you see here this voltage is in terms of kilovolt, where this is in terms of seconds, you can say time in seconds. Okay, now we'll take this is graph A, we'll take this is graph B. Okay, so this graph B, now you see yourself, this curve A is always above the graph B. The curve A is always above the curve B. It means the insulation of this is more than the insulation, because insulation, I hope I'll told you this thing, that insulation is in terms of the voltage. Okay, the insulation of any system, how do you provide? It depends upon the voltage. How much voltage is there? Based upon that, we'll provide the amount of insulation. This we know very well. Okay, so here insulation in the sense indirectly it is voltage. We can say it's voltage. So the curve A has higher voltage. The curve A has higher voltage than curve B. The curve A has higher voltage than curve B. So it means definitely we must understand this thing is that the insulation strength of the equipment should be higher than that of the insulation of the protective device. So this is the logic. So you have to select in such a way that this is the equipment, whereas this one is the protective device. So for example, rod gap is there, or Singhan is there, or any lightning arrestor is there. There is a blue color one. So this is the insulation level. Whereas this red color one is the insulation of the equipment. So the insulation of the protective device should be lower than the insulation of the equipment. Insulation of the equipment. Then only the fault current will damage this insulation of the protective device. So the protective device can get damaged rather than the equipment. Okay, so you are saving the equipment here. You are protecting the equipment by allowing. So it means because of this traveling waves, or because of this lightning strikes. Okay, first the protective device will get affected, whereas the equipment will not get affected, because the insulation of the protective device is less than the insulation of the equipment. So this is the thing you have to take into consideration, that whenever you are selecting any protective device, make sure that that device has lesser insulation level compared with the equipment for which you are designing the protective device, or for which you are selecting the protective device. Okay, this is the procedure you follow. So this entire thing, the selecting the particular protective device for any equipment is called insulation coordination. So what is the logic here is that equipment insulation level should be greater than the protective device insulation level. Okay, we the same graph we can have some more. Okay, we can okay, we can just redraw that using this picture. See this picture now. So please answer, is this picture visible properly? Please answer, is this picture
Yes,
visible
sir.
properly?
It's visible, sir.
Sir, it's better to zoom in.
Yeah. Now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you see here. Yeah, the same picture, it is reproduced here. Nothing else is there. So you see one side, what do you find out? X-axis you find out. You see X-axis, you find out the time. Y-axis you find out the voltage. That's it. Okay. So here you find out, you see some curves are there. So almost all the curves are same, that initially it rise like this, after that it falls like this. So now this rising part, you call it as, you see, time range wave front flashover. Time range wave tile flashover. So this wave, this is, you call it as wave front, this side, till this point. Whereas the other part, that is this part, is the wave tile. Okay, this is wave tile. So that's the reason that we see here now, that till this part which it reaches the peak value, it is the wave front, whereas after that it is wave tail. Okay, then the last part, that is where there is voltage value is very less. So its range is what? Time it's a no impulse flashover. So no impulse flashover in the sense the voltage levels are lesser compared with the previous two regions. So two ranges are there here. Total three ranges are there here. So out of these three ranges, okay, okay. Now you see. So this is about the x-axis. The three ranges are there: a wave front, wave tail, and a no impulse flashover. Okay. So these are the three ranges. Then you see the y-axis. In the y-axis, what do you find out is that critical flashover is there. Okay. So then this is critical withstand is there, rated withstand is there. Then front flashover. Okay. So this is tail flashover. Yeah, this is the voltage range. Okay. So the graphs are divided like this, that, okay, so it's something like this. Time of crest flashover. So this is crest flashover, and this is the corresponding time. And this is critical flashover. So its corresponding time is this here. Okay, this is the corresponding time here. So this height, which is there, this height is there. So this height is the critical flashover. Okay, and then what is the time? That time you can calculate as time critical flash. So critical flashover here, in the sense, it's just a something like that. It's a standard value. It's a standard value. So beyond that, beyond this value, okay, the flashover is very intense, or you can say like this: the flashover is very dangerous beyond this value, beyond this voltage level. Okay, because this is a voltage level, so beyond this it is, it's very dangerous. So we will take, what is that? So after that, whatever may be the, after that, whatever may be the voltage level, that is not much severe, just like this, no impulse flashover is there. So beyond that point, it is no impulse flashover. Okay, beyond that. So there's a third region. So first two regions, till the end of the first two regions, or the end of the end of the second region, you can call it as critical flashover. And after that, it is no impulse flashover. So before that, it is dangerous. Definitely, it's a dangerous value. Okay. So and then, what else you find out is that another one is that crest flashover. So crest flashover, in the sense, something like this, that the peak value of the, yeah, this one you can call it as the peak value. You can call it as crest flashover, and that time you can call it as time of the crest flashover. Okay. Then after that, you have another thing, tail flashover, in the sense, after this peak value, the range you can call it as tail flashover. Okay. So then, you see here, wave front flashover voltage range. So which one it is? It is, okay, wave front flashover voltage range, in the sense, I told you already that, yeah, something like this. Okay, till this point, this is point is here. So we can divide, I told you already that we can divide into wave front, wave tail. So in the range of wave front, you see here, this line is there, this line is there. So above this line, he said that it is wave front flashover, in the sense, above this value, because above that, in the sense, you will go, or left side of that, you will go to wave front. So that's it. Now down, now another one is wave tail flashover voltage range. Just like you see here, time range, wave front flashover, another wave tail flashover, then third one is that, okay, so third one is that, no impulse flashover. So corresponding to these time ranges, there are voltage ranges also. So corresponding to this time range, the voltage range is wave front flashover voltage range. Corresponding to this, time range, that is, tail flashover, time. Okay, corresponding to this, you have the corresponding voltage range. So that's it. So this is what about, wave front flashover voltage range and wave tail flashover voltage range. Okay, and then, you see here now, critical flashover, 50% of the 50% of application flashover. So critical flashover, this you have got here. And whereas this point, what he said, this point is that it is 50%. It is 50 percentage of that. Okay, which one here? You see this height. This height. Okay. Now another one. Just let me erase this so that. Okay, so this range. Okay, this range you can call it as, yeah, this range. Yeah, it is this entire graph is self-explanatory. This point is 50%. See, this is total 100%, whereas this point is exactly in the middle, so it is 50%. Okay, okay, that's, I think that's over about this graph. Okay, so these are the values you require, for the equipment protective device. So these values you should know while you are, deciding a particular protective device for a particular equipment.